What happens when you really start to own your shit, where you really start to show up and meet yourself where you are and start to take responsibility for your circumstances, your story, the life you have, and who you are? Like, it's January 7th, 2026. Where are you at with your dreams and your goals and your life? Did you make New Year's resolutions? Did you say new year, new me? Did you say you're done with old things from the past? Did you lay 2025 to rest? And have you started 2026 in alignment with yourself? Because here's what I can tell you from very personal experience is that when we start to show up and we start to own our shit and we start to really do the deeper work of meeting ourselves where we are and moving towards becoming the person that we need to be to create the life that we want to have, or to fulfill the calling or the purpose that we have on our lives, or to start to clean up the mess that we've created in certain areas of our life. And if this is meeting you while you are in the depths of your darkest moments, please know, please hear me when I say this, there is a way through. Unless you are facing something that is a literal life and death situation, like a health problem, you're in a country where there is war or something is going on that is outside of yourself, like that is nature made or something that is government made or something, whatever it is. Outside of those circumstances, please know there is a way through. If you are here listening to this, you have so much more power and potential and resources than you could ever imagine. And I have been where you are. I have been in the depths of my darkness where I thought I wasn't worthy of being alive. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't allowed. I wasn't worthy. I was too much, not enough, or I wasn't safe to be myself, to exist in the world as I am, in both my darkness, my wounds, my trauma, all my limitations, but also all my power and potential, all of my truth. And when I started to speak my truth to the world, and when I started to strip away all the things that were no longer me, and I started to come home to myself and just started to be myself, it cost me far more than I ever could have imagined when I started to own my shit. And now I'm at the next layer of that. And when you start to own your shit and you start to show up to address the consequences of your circumstances, whether that's from what you've created or what you just have to face because of what you've been through, whether it's your health, your finances, your relationships, your home, your job, your community, your culture, whatever your thing is. And when you have to start to address the crisis, the chaos, the survival mode in your life, whether, like I said, whether it's your health, your finances, your work, your employment, your relationships, whatever your thing is, and you have to do that in relationship with other people or other organizations, and they start to ask you questions as to going, well, how did you get into these circumstances? What did you do to help yourself? And where are you at now? It can be as confronting as fuck. And I mean that, there's no other word for it. Confronting as fuck. And it can be re-traumatizing, it can be triggering, and the wave of guilt and shame and grief and, like I said, triggering and re-traumatizing is very real. And you may have to repeat yourself many times to get the help that you need to. And if you don't have the answers to the questions that you're being asked, you might need to go and find them. Or it might hold up a mirror to you and go, shit, I contributed to this current situation. And I can pinpoint exactly where I knew I needed to create change in my life. I knew the moment, or I had that awareness. My intuition said, I need to do something to address this now. And I put it off and said, no, I'll do it later, or I don't have time. Or when you started to address it, your nervous system shut down, your trauma got triggered, your ego got triggered, and you just put it off. You shut down, you regressed, you avoided, you disassociated, like whatever your thing is. However you got to where you are and who you are now, when you know that you are no longer willing to stay here and you are no longer willing to accept this as your baseline for your life and who you are, that means addressing things and owning your shit for how you got here and the consequences. There might be some cleanup to do just to be able to create stability, to be able to create safety in yourself and in your body and your nervous system. That might be your mental health. It might be your finances, your health, whatever your thing is. And it could be everything. You might wake up and go, when you're ready to get back up from the floor, wherever you are, and please know you are worthy of getting back up. You are worthy of fighting for. And hold that thought. You are worthy of fighting for. And if this is speaking to you, I want you to my watch is going off. Okay, there we go. I want you to know that you are worthy of being well. You do not have to earn being well and safe. It is your inherent human right to be well and safe in your own body, in your own home, and in your own life. And at the same time, as someone who is picking herself back up and starting to lay the foundations for the life that I want to have and who I want to become next, and I'm facing the consequences of the last 5 to 10 years of my life, of things that I knew I needed to do 5, 10 years ago, and also the consequences and the ripple effect of decisions that I made 3 to 5 years ago. And I'm just starting to be strong enough and well enough within myself, safe enough within myself to start to address the crisis and the chaos in my finances, in my health. It's confronting and it's triggering. Today, I had to do 2 phone calls where I'm seeking support to address some situations in my business and my finances, and the questions I had to answer, the things that I needed to know but didn't, the things that I had to repeat, the story that I had to share 3 or 4 times over to different people. The shame, the guilt, and the grief are real. And I just wanted to shut down. I just wanted to go, fuck it all. But I grounded myself and I said, that's not who you are anymore. And instead I took a deep breath and I created safety in my nervous system. And I said, we're just going to do this. We're just chipping away at this because that's not who you are anymore. We don't run. We don't shut down. We don't avoid. We don't numb. We don't self-sabotage. I became my own purpose in 2026. I became the woman who regulated her nervous system, who owned her shit, who cleaned up the crisis and chaos in myself, in my home, in my life, in my business, my love, my leadership, my legacy. And that means this has to be done in order to get to there. This has to be done. This cannot be avoided. There's no walk around. The only way is through. So if this is meeting you somewhere, I hear you, I am you, and where we are and who we are and being able to do the best we can with what we have is everything. Like, here's me in my garage using a kettlebell, a training dummy to do my jiu-jitsu and my training for black belt world champion, because this is what I have. Is my garage. And I went for a run and I did my 3Ks, and I also did one of my phone calls while walking because I knew I wouldn't be able to do it in my home or sitting still because I would have just hung up the phone or I would have shut down. And I was also, that was during the call, and then after the call I was also like, nah, we need to be able to move that emotion through that body. We need to be able to get out of our head and into our body. So you are worthy of showing up for. You are worthy of your warrior heart. And because I'm recording on my phone, here's the part 2. being able to move through and find some fortitude, find conviction and courage to be committed, to be consistent, and to be confident. Confidence is self-trust. Courage is to speak the truth of one's heart. Conviction is a currency that where you are going and who you want to be is worth more to you than the fear, than the excuses of staying here where you are and settling. And if you are someone who has the strength to survive and you are resilient and you've been through some stuff and you are here, I am resilient. I know how to survive. And yet I don't want that to be the baseline for my life any longer. I don't want to be winging my success and my wins. I don't want to be winning or getting these one-off hits in the feast or famine of business and of success. I want to be prepared to win. I want to be prepared to receive my success. I am a 3-time world champion. I am a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I am the woman who created a multiple 6-figure brand and business. I am the woman who, while I was pregnant with my son, founded a program for young Aboriginal girls and women in my community that has seen over 300 girls and young women come through my program. I employed local people. I have 3 degrees under my belt. I am a mother of 5 children ranging in ages from 19 down to 4. And yet, sitting here on the 7th of January 2026, I can say to you with all honesty, I don't feel like a black belt. I don't feel like a successful businesswoman. I don't feel like a woman with 3 degrees. I don't feel like the mother my children deserve. I don't feel like myself, because I know that there are fundamentals, there are foundational things that I skipped in getting to those moments, in getting to those wins. That was just off of the back of raw talent, off of crisis and chaos and winging it and fucking around and finding out. This time round, in this next level, in this return, in this Warrior Heart Rise, everything that I do next will be built off of the fundamentals and the foundations being in place. It will not be built on a house of cards. This is the Warrior Heart movement. This is me sharing the behind the scenes of my journey to becoming the woman who is safe and regulated in her nervous system, who can be the mother, the woman and the auntie that I deserve, and that those that I love and serve deserve, that my children deserve. Creating safety and stability in my energy, in my purpose, my power, my business, my finances, in the work that I do, in how I manage my time and my energy, my effort and my money and my resources, becoming the master, becoming the steward, the matriarch, the custodian of the dreaming and the weaving that I'm doing. And that means owning my shit. If this is speaking to you, come and join the Warrior Heart community over on School. It is a free community where we are walking and weaving our dreaming together, where we are coming home to ourselves, where our journey is becoming our own purpose and understanding that in order to have the life that we want and in order to live fully into our power and potential and our purpose, and to move at the pace of peace and trust, we need to know who and what we are fighting for. And in order to stand in our power, in order to be our truth, and in order to follow our heart, we need to have a relationship with our heart. We need to understand what our truth is, and we need to redefine what power is. So if this is speaking to you, hit like and subscribe wherever you're seeing this. Share, comment, and if you would like to work with me one-on-one, I have current opportunities to work with me, to join the Warrior Heart Inner Circle for $97. You can book a one-on-one session with me for a limited time at the discounted rate and the investment of $97. Or keep your eyes open for Warrior Heart in-person events coming to a space near you soon. And all of these can be found on my Stand store or in my school community, which the link will be below. I just wanted to share this with you, that when we start to own our shit, it can be confronting, it can be traumatizing, triggering, and you will question yourself and you will go, is this even worth it? Am I worth it? Is where I am really that bad? And for me, the answer is yes. I can survive here. I've done it for a really long time. I've been able to keep a roof over my kids' head. I've been able to fund an international global career in speaking and in sport and in impact. I've been able to train and get to a physical fitness, and yet I'm done with survival mode as a way of life, burnout as a way of leadership, and self-abandonment as a way of love. And this is me daily taking micro steps. And right now, the biggest areas in my life is my finances and my health. These are the two things that I'm showing up to daily that are non-negotiable. Moving my body, not just for performance or competing, but moving my body to be well and strong in my physical self, and my mental health, my being mindful, are daily efforts. Because when I started looking at what is my baseline, I realized that this isn't the baseline this person that I am and the baseline that I have for my life or my standards and my values are not going to help me to become the woman. They're not going to serve me to be the custodian, the matriarch, the guide and the elder of the dreaming that I have, of the mandate, the ancestral mandate that is on my life, but also of the unanswered power and potential that exists inside of me. That fire, that question of what if and who could I become if I went all in. And when I started to look at the baseline of my consistency, so over on school, they have this tracking system, an activity tracker, where you can track how consistent and how often you've shown up on school. And when I looked at that, it was quite confronting, because I was like, well, I'm saying one thing, but this is showing me another. And when I looked back at my finances and my journals for last year, for 2025, and even on my watch, there's this little heart thing where it tracks how often I'm consistent on my daily things of 6,000 steps, 90 minutes of activity, and 120 calories. And I can tell you, I did not hit one full month of consistency with my movement, with my eating, or my hydration last year as baselines for my health. And it was confronting when I started to realize, well, no wonder I'm in these circumstances, because I can track and pinpoint how I was the cause of my current circumstances. And instead of running from that, there's a power. I'm starting to rebuild self-trust and self-respect with myself, because I'm showing up, I'm owning it, I'm getting truthful with myself around where I am and who I am, and understanding what it's going to take to get from not that dream version, but from who I am now, that bridging, shifting my identity from here and to what comes next. What does the next level look like? So I'm not trying to make big jumps. I'm like, what is the next safest step that I can take? So this is just a behind the scenes, that if you are on the journey to owning your shit, showing up and changing your life, how honest are you being? What is your baseline that you're at? What do you need to do to raise your standards, to raise the baseline, to become the person that you need to become, to level up, to come home to yourself, to become your truest self? If I can serve you or help you in some way, comment Warrior Heart or DM me Warrior Heart, and I will send you the different ways that we can work together. Hit like and subscribe, leave a comment, share this with someone that you love, and yeah, just join me in the Warrior Heart community over on school. And I hope this meets you where you are. Oh, P.S. The dreams that you have are yours for a reason, because they spoke to you. The dreams came to you. They chose you. So what is the strategy that you're going to do differently in 2026? What can you do differently to meet yourself? Not make excuses, not justify, not romanticize, not avoid, but really shift your belief, your identity, your mindset, because that is the real work, is being able to get yourself on board, is being able to be accountable to leading yourself. And how we lead ourselves, the identity that we carry about who we are, the way our nervous system is set up to respond to who we are and the life that we have. This is the foundation for changing our life. Your money, your health, your business, your relationships, everything flows. You are the seed and the source of the energy, the person, the outcomes, the results, the actions that you bring to your roles, to your business, to your life, to your workplace, to your relationships. You are the source and the seed of those. So what would shift if you started to understand and take responsibility that by becoming your own purpose and becoming yourself and being well within yourself and resourcing yourself first as the source and the seed for everything that flows from you, what would shift for you? What would become possible? And once you get that bigger picture vision and understanding, how do you work backwards from there? How do you put a strategy in place so that it doesn't just become an empty dream or another way that you bullshit yourself or another way that you break your own heart? This is week 2 of Warrior Heart Rising in 2026. It is week 9 of being 42. And this is my Warrior Heart Rising. This is me sharing the journey with you. And what I'm doing is regulating my nervous system, is making movement and being well daily, non-negotiable. And right now, it's my finances as the baseline for the non-negotiable thing that I'm doing every single day. And that means understanding my numbers. What is my current financial situation? What is my current income? And what is the baseline number I need to bring in to daily to fund my life and to fund my business? So that's where I'm working from my training. What can I do to raise my baseline, to prepare myself and my body and my mind to compete this year, to have the resources, the finances, the funds to compete? And then when I get on the mats, to just be able to bring everything that I have. So the dreams that are guiding me, how do I make a plan and prepare to win, to make those dreams become possible? But in all of that, coming back to as the human being, as the woman who is the mother, the woman and the auntie first, before all those other things, as the source and the seed, what do I need for me to be able to resource, to be the custodian, the matriarch, the receiver, and the elder of that dreaming of those things? This is the Warrior Heart journey. This is the Warrior Heart Rising season. And I hope this serves you. I hope this meets you. And when we start to own our shit, love yourself gently, but don't avoid yourself. Don't make excuses for staying stuck, because it's going to really hurt one day when you look up and you look around and you go, well, fuck. I could have done something about this. I could have changed this back there. And now some things just cannot be undone. Some things cannot change. And regret is one of the hardest emotions to live with. When you look back and you know, I could have done something back then. I was aware, my intuition, I had a nudge. I had a knowing back then. And I did nothing about it. And every day and every moment is a chance to do something different, is to choose yourself as many times as it takes to raise your baseline, to raise your standards, and to become who you have always been able to become, and to create the life that is your vision, that is your dream. Big love you more.